the way she performed against LSU and the way she's performed in this tournament, you know what does it for me? The Steph Curry argument.
Stephen A., I could actually argue that it hurts the game more if they had given her a roster spot over someone more deserving.
Would show a little bit more respect to Caitlin Clark for what she has brought to the WNBA.
But you know what I think about? Which makes me say if she wins the championship.
You won't believe what some ESPN hosts are saying about Caitlin Clark. It's like they can't handle a woman being this good at basketball. But guess what? Their words are backfiring big time. Let's break down how Clark is flipping the script on sports media. So here's the deal. Molly Carrion from ESPN had the nerve to say Clark's success is just luck. Can you believe that? It's like they're trying to downplay her skills just because she's a woman. This is exactly the kind of bias we see all the time in sports media when it comes to female athletes. But you know what's crazy? Clark isn't just proving them wrong. She's changing the whole game. The backlash against ESPN is just the beginning. Clark's about to show everyone why she's not just lucky, but one of the best basketball players out there. Period. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Hold up. You think Clark is just another good player? Think again. She's not just outplaying her opponents, she's outdrawing the men's games. Yeah, you heard that right. The numbers don't lie, and they're telling a story that's got everyone talking. Let's talk about how Caitlin Clark is rewriting the record books. She's not just good, she's NCAA all-time leading scorer good. That's insane. We're talking about a player who's outscoring legends from both men's and women's basketball. And she's doing it with style, making shots from just inside half court like it's no big deal. But here's where it gets really wild. Clark's not just dominating on the court, she's dominating the ratings too. Remember the recent national title game? It pulled in a whopping 18.7 million viewers. That's more than the men's championship game, which only got 14.8 million. You know what that means? Clark's not just playing great basketball, she's proving that women's sports can be a major draw. And it's not like this is a one-time thing. Clark's been crushing it in the WNBA too. She snagged Rookie of the Month for May, leading all the first-year players in scoring, field goals made, and three-pointers. It's like she stepped into the pro league and said, yeah, I belong here. But you know what's really cool about all this? Clark's success isn't just about her. It's about changing the whole conversation around women's sports.
Stephen A., I could actually argue that it hurts the game more if they had given her a roster spot over someone more deserving.
Those were not my intentions, but that's how you took it. That's on me. I do apologize.
But you know what I think about? Which makes me say if she wins the championship.
Every time she steps on the court, she's challenging those old, tired narratives about women's basketball not being exciting or worth watching. Think about it. How many times have you heard people say stuff like nobody watches women's sports or it's not as exciting as men's games? Clark's out there proving those people wrong every single day. She's not just playing great basketball, she's forcing everyone to pay attention to women's sports in a way they never have before. And let's be real, it's about time. Clark's game is electrifying. She's got the skills, the confidence, and that it factor that makes you want to tune in just to see what she'll do next. It's not just about breaking records or winning games. It's about changing the whole landscape of sports. Clark's changing the game, but some big names at ESPN aren't keeping up. One host's comments about her went way too far. It's got people asking, is ESPN stuck in the past when it comes to women's sports? You'd think ESPN would be celebrating Clark's incredible success, right? Well, think again. Pat McAfee, one of their top hosts, dropped a bomb that left fans shocked and angry. During a discussion about Clark's impact on the WNBA, McAfee called her a white bag. Yeah, you heard that right. He tried to play it off as a compliment, but come on, that's not okay. McAfee's words sparked a firestorm. Female sports journalists were quick to call him out, saying this kind of language is totally unacceptable. It's not just about one bad comment, it's about the bigger picture of how women in sports are treated and talked about. But here's where it gets really interesting. Stephen A. Smith, another big name at ESPN, got all defensive when people started questioning the network's coverage of women's sports. Monica McNutt, one of his colleagues, wasn't having it. She straight up told him, Stephen A. said respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to. Here, Potri? Ouch, that's gotta stink. This whole mess is exposing a huge double standard at ESPN. Think about how they talk about male athletes. It's all praise and hype. But when it comes to women like Clark who are breaking records and changing the game, suddenly it's all about luck or making offensive comments. You know what's crazy? While all this drama was going down, the big bosses at ESPN were staying quiet. It's like they don't know how to handle the fact that women's sports are becoming a big deal. They're stuck in the old way of thinking, and it's showing. But here's the thing, Clark isn't just changing how we watch basketball, she's changing how we talk about it, and that's got some people at ESPN shook. They're not used to a woman dominating the headlines and drawing in massive crowds. It's forcing them to confront their own biases, and clearly some of them aren't handling it well. This whole situation is sparking a bigger conversation about how women in sports are treated and represented. It's not just about one bad comment or one network. It's about the whole system that's been undervaluing and misrepresenting female athletes for years. And you know what? People are starting to pay attention. Caitlin Clark isn't just grabbing headlines. She's forcing the entire sports world to rethink how they talk about women athletes. What happens when a rookie comes in and rewrites the playbook for an entire league? That's exactly what we're seeing with Clark, and it's shaking up the sports media landscape in a big way. Let's talk about how Clark's success is making sports networks confront their biases.
It's crickets.
No
What's up?
one
What's up?
denied the fact that she's a star and she couldn't play. It was just that it takes.
Y'all
the
were denying it, Molly. Don't do that.
And
Don't do that, Molly.
I utilized the words white bitch to describe Caitlin Clark as being the superstar in Indiana.
The way she performed against LSU and the way she's performed in this tournament, you know what does it for me? The Steph Curry argument.
Remember when women's sports were an afterthought in media coverage? Not anymore. Clark's games are drawing massive viewership, and suddenly networks are scrambling to give women's basketball the airtime it deserves. It's like they're finally waking up to what fans have known all along. Women's sports are exciting, competitive, and worth watching. You know what's really cool? Clark's impact is going way beyond just basketball. The WNBA is seeing a surge in ticket sales and viewership. People are tuning in to watch Clark play, and they're discovering a whole league of incredible athletes. It's like Clark opened the door, and now fans are rushing in to see what they've been missing. But here's the thing, Clark isn't just letting her game do the talking. She's speaking up about the challenges women athletes face. In her own words, she acknowledged the physical nature of the game, saying, "It is what it is. It's a physical game." That's Clark being real about the toughness required to compete at the highest level. She's not asking for special treatment. She's demanding respect for all players in the league. And you know what? Her voice is making a difference. We're seeing a shift in how female athletes are portrayed across all sports media. It's not just about looks or personal drama anymore.
If the focus on, okay,
Cool.
now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, and we're not putting the best team out there.
Would show a little bit more respect to Caitlin Clark for what she has brought to the WNBA.
I'd say this would be a GOAT run, and she should be in that conversation, and here's why. In the last 5 years, you guys, we've had 5 different women's championships.
Networks are finally focusing on these athletes' skills, their strategies, and their impact on the game. It's like Clark's success is forcing everyone to up their game when it comes to covering women's sports. This isn't just about one player or one league. Clark's influence is pushing for more fair and inclusive representation of female athletes across all sports, from soccer to tennis to gymnastics. We're seeing a change in how women athletes are talked about and showcased. It's like Clark lit a fire, and now it's spreading through the whole sports world. Let's talk about the truth ESPN can't ignore anymore. Caitlin Clark isn't just a superstar player. She's changing the whole game for women's sports and how the media covers them. It's like she came in and said, "Hey, pay attention to us." You know what's really cool? Clark's success is forcing everyone to take a hard look at how they talk about female athletes. It's not just about her skills on the court. It's about respect for the whole sport. And it's working. More people are watching, more tickets are being sold, and the conversation is changing. But here's the thing, this is just the beginning. Clark's success isn't just about her. It's about opening doors for all women in sports. So next time you're watching sports coverage, ask yourself, are they giving women's sports the respect they deserve? Because trust me, change is coming and it's about time.